Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this finds you. Welcome to the 70th Emerging Growth Conference and day 2 of our 2-day Super Virtual Investor Conference. I'm Anna Berry. Just a few notes. Today we're running until 4:30 Eastern. Now, when we switch to the next company, you might see a black screen for a moment. Don't go anywhere. That's just us moving over. But if you do experience downtime, refresh your browser. And our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. Now, all of our conferences are uploaded to our YouTube channel, so please subscribe there, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Now, today, during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through the webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of the presentation. And one last note. After today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for the next conference. So stay on or come back to reserve your spot early. Let's begin. Today, we have Reggie James, the founder and managing director of Digital Clarity, a wholly owned subsidiary of Digital Brand Media and Marketing Group, trades under DBMM, a U.S. public holding company, where Reggie serves as executive director and chief operating officer of DBMM. So late last year, Reggie shared some early remarks at his first Emerging Growth Conference as a framework for the holding company's return to normal trading and normal business after a daunting list of mitigating circumstances, like a full COVID lockdown. We remember that, especially in the UK, affecting both clients and the operating business itself. To name after a regulatory overhang, just a few little issues. After external no fault of DBMM. Now, given the number of moving parts, there were lots of questions from shareholders, as well as potential investors and other interested parties. And a lot of people wanted to understand you, Reggie, as the operations leader, directing everything on the ground, everything from your background, how it was developed from the beginning of the online market adventure through 2 successful startups and their exit strategies, and how that brought you to founding Digital Clarity and its acquisition by Digital Brand Media and Marketing Group, a public company. Now, that, of course, raised innumerable questions about the actual product offering, the market in which it operates, through the operating flagship brand of the company, Digital Clarity. Lastly, how will Digital Clarity, as the flagship organization, drive the growth geographically and ultimately target acquisitions, all of which you have stressed, Reggie, and we'll speak about, change the company's ultimate size and eligibility for NASDAQ. Now, Reggie has emphatically stressed this is aspirational, but it's the company's stated intent. So, without further ado, welcome, Reggie. We are so looking forward to hearing your expansion of the team professional background, including DBMM's acquisition of Digital Clarity and the progress on the geographic growth plan. So happy to have you back on the conference. Welcome, Reggie.
Anna, thank you so much. And as you say, the objective of this session is to reinforce, educate current and prospective shareholders as to how and why Digital Clarity is positioned, and how my experience and earlier sort of startups, learning and building blocks drill down into the product that we have today. So quite a lot to cover. As you say, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. A lot has gone on, and the idea is that I'm going to answer some questions about Digital Clarity and why DBMM could be a powerful investment opportunity for long-standing and new shareholders. It's imperative that I convincingly convey to DBMM shareholders that the digital industry is extremely complicated and not for the faint-hearted. It is also a continuing learning experience to provide a unique, carefully designed client-by-client experience to provide the differentiating competitive advantage. So the first thing to understand is that DBMM is not a storefront. We do not make widgets. You know, we are a management consultancy, so it's not your typical company selling a product. And we're going to drill into this a little bit more. It's far more sophisticated than that. And if volume is the only metric, in a commoditized approach like counting clicks in those early days, then things would be completely different. But the world has changed, especially post-pandemic. And you're going to hear me saying a lot about this. Some agencies do just that. They manage clicks, but we are a consultancy. We're an advisory. And as operating brand, digital clarity opens doors to future-facing opportunities beyond the kind of traditional boundaries. And of course, understanding the many avenues of how is the tricky part. And this is what gives us, digital clarity, the competitive advantage. One thing to highlight is that we have a lot of naysayers, and really they don't understand. And that's one of the other reasons I'm here today. And though everyone has an opinion, I urge you to heed caution. That means shareholders, as decision makers, should only use documented material and public information. Make your own decisions, but I'm here to describe the journey and to provide you with all the rationale and to ignore the opinions. Firstly, the over-the-counter OTC market is often misunderstood. It's not an exchange, but it's a platform. This means where there are opportunities, equally, there's going to be challenges. Beware the bad actors, the short sellers, the batchers, the people who seek to manipulate the market for short-term gains. Ask yourself the question, why? Rumors and speculations are just that, rumors without basis. 10-year-old examples are constantly brought back by the bashers, years old, some going way, way, way back. Let me say something. These practices are legally frowned upon. And as mentioned before, they get away with it until one day they don't. On to more positive things. DBMM management has a fine-tuned relationship, honed over the years through previous successful ventures and solid outcomes. Has brought the company long-term investors and gotten us through the toughest challenges until we've eliminated all the hurdles and set forth a very strong blueprint for geographic expansion, focus on the US, which is right now the strongest and best economy in the world. The key to optimizing results is to make certain that growth is sustainable while expanding at the same time. Each new client takes a combination of resources, both investment in capital, time, and the right professional team member to advise, consult, and execute the unique plan for each new client. There's no template other than the process to put all the individual pieces of the whole, balancing it, and then executing it. So next time, you have to measure the results and adjust to maximize the ROI quarter by quarter. That's what we're doing. The good news is that the doing it starts to build a big bank of satisfied clients who look to help us navigate them and position them to all the changes in the marketplace. It's a very complex market, and I'm going to touch on that at the moment. This is the first of a number of things I'm going to be doing with you, Anna, and we've really earned our seat at the table. It's ongoing. It's a highly profitable and exciting proposition. The skill set is valuable to the client's bottom line as the marketing outreach pulls all of the whole product offering together. So thank you, Anna. I'm really looking forward to this.
Thank you, Reggie, for that statement. Yes. So one of the questions we were asked last time was basically to try to understand a little bit more about you, your history, plus the company Digital Clarity. So if you could give us some background, a little pedigree of you and how your two earlier startups and their disposition, which led to founding DC and the opportunity of a public company by then being acquired by DBMM.
Anna, I'd love to. Well, I am a seasoned entrepreneur and businessman. I started life working in an advertising and media company, Ziff Davis. Prior to that, I've been working in marketing and advertising for all my professional life. I then launched the European division of the first Singaporean.com called Media Ring to list on Cymex. I did that with a couple of C-suite directors from Ericsson in Sweden. For those who don't know who Ericsson are, Ericsson, like Cisco, plumbed the internet. 80 to 90% of the world's traffic flowed through their network. And I built and exited that company when it's acquired by an Asian telecoms business. I then joined AltaVista, where I worked selling marketing and advertising solutions to brands like Dell, Hewlett Packard, as well as the agencies worldwide. AltaVista was acquired by Yahoo and is now owned by Apollo Asset Management. Those skills and contacts were invaluable and expanded my already growing network, and all of this was done before Google had arrived on the scene, and it really whet my appetite for public company possibilities. When Google launched in Mountain View, its first office outside of the US, like many companies, was in London. And the first employees for Google in Europe were from AltaVista. Why? It's because AltaVista knew how to shape business models. Many of those are commonplace today, but it started way back then. So working with agencies presented another opportunity as they struggled to manage and understand search, and Digital Clarity was born. First as an advisor to agencies, and then as a full service digital marketing agencies. We were one of the first European search businesses. So seeing an opportunity again with two old engineers from AltaVista, I helped launch a product called DC Storm. This was a technology that was built for analyzing huge data sets, very similar to the things called LLM, large language models used by AI companies today. And we used those back then to manage ad campaigns on Google. This led to my second exit, selling DC Storm with a company being acquired by Japanese technology conglomerate Rakuten, which is based in Tokyo. All of these were good stepping stones leading to Digital Clarity, which was then acquired in those early days by DBMM. And all of those regulatory, external environmental issues like Brexit and COVID, none of which we're now making, tested the mettle. And we not only survived, but we prevailed to where we are today. So we're right now very well positioned to achieve this success each step of the way. So that's a little background on me, Anna.
Quite a journey you've had, and it doesn't seem too dissimilar to many businesses that are household names today. So thank you for that. Let's talk Digital Clarity. Give us an overview. What is it, and why are you focusing on the B2B market as a nexus for your growth initiative?
Thanks, Anna. Well, let me go right into it. We, as the name suggests, we're a marketing management consultancy, and we're in the B2B space because it is a huge and growing market, but we serve a very big need for B2B tech companies, and I'll go into it step by step. So let me go into that right now. So if you look at organizations, all business to business organizations specifically, they start here at the top. I don't know whether you can see my cursor or not, but that top area where it says need for growth. This is where all companies start, and then they either internally or externally produce a marketing brief because they believe that's what's going to get them growth. They call in an agency. They normally call in 1, 2, and 3, and then they proceed with one agency that they've chosen for whatever reason. They have a honeymoon period. The agency gets them some leads, gets them some inquiries. Then they go back up, and 6 to 12 months later, they go back to square one, as you can see on this circle. And then they either take the thing in-house and do what we call a stop-start circle of marketing, where they start mimicking other companies. They try to achieve growth by trialing different things. Things don't work, and they just go round and round in circles. As the old saying goes, everyone wants the six-pack, but not everyone is willing to do the work. You're not going to get up at 6 in the morning, do the run, change your diet, change your nutrition, get your 8 hours sleep, all of those things. All of those things need to be done, and they take time. So we come in there and we show clients the way. The reason we're in the B2B tech space is that B2B is a huge market. Post-pandemic, it was valued at $20+ trillion. And That's just in the B2B e-commerce space. We're not even looking at things like the fintech market, which is an area that Digital Clarity are going to be getting into, as well as all the financial service sectors like insurance and various other things within B2B. So these are all exciting areas to come. So it's a huge market, but here's the rub. Companies, B2B tech companies, are throwing away, this is from Boston Consulting Group last year, over $2 trillion due to old school sales and marketing approaches. They're still using the old techniques, hoping that they're going to make a difference, and they're hemorrhaging cash and not making any impact. That's the area that we address. And the reason why it's so complicated is that the buyer is in control. It's a very, very complex journey. Again, most companies target the buyer end of the market when most B2B companies are evaluating a potential customer. So what I'm trying to say is that it takes time. And really one of the reasons that we get involved is to show and give companies a strategy to address and show them how the buyer journey is so they can serve their communication message. Firstly, get the communication message right, serve at the right place at the right time on the right screen, exactly where the buyer is. That's a real skill that we've developed over 2 decades. So the buyer's in control. They have a very, very clear idea in terms of how they're going to buy. In many cases, they have internal buying committees. Again, it's very complex, but this is something that we share with our customers, and we show them how to get through that through a very, very detailed plan. So why do so many marketing campaigns fail? These are just 4 areas, but very important areas of over 48 areas that we look to address. And I'll just touch on some of these right now. They have a very unclear value proposition. They have a very bad lead generation process, in many cases, no process at all. There's a lack of positioning and product offering, and their marketing efforts, as I touched on before, is very, very fragmented. So in a nutshell, what we do on the left-hand side is deal with all of those different layers and get them through that complexity onto the right-hand side, give them a very, very clear go-to-market strategy. As I say, this is the first of a variety of different messages that I'm going to be sharing with you, Anna, as well as through other channels, which I'm going to touch on. We've done this for a whole variety of different companies in the past, and these are just a very few of the companies that we have and are working with, and I'm going to be coming back to and sharing a bit more. So that just gives you a bit of a flavor of what we do, and if you have any other questions, please get people to write in, and I'll happily address those. Thank you.
Yes, great. What a complex market it really is. Thank you for kind of breaking that down. Yes, some of the questions as to the learnings from the formidable challenges, like you mentioned, particularly those brought about when the acquisition of DC was about to lead a growth initiative, but met with a series of circumstances, if you will. So my experience is other companies would have thrown in the towel and walked away. You guys strategized a way to win. So tell us a little bit about step to step, how that happened exactly.
You're absolutely right. Most people would have given up. And the simple fact is the future is really bright, and we've earned it, and will be led by Digital Clarity as the operating brand and flagship. And I'm really proud to be part of it. It's been a really tough journey. But as you say, Anna, DBMM has met every single mitigating circumstance. We've prevailed every time because of our tenacity, our strategy, and because of that, we've earned the respect of each of those regulators, due diligence of the company and its management. You can imagine the SEC and all those other organizations have a spotlight on every single company where there's shareholders involved. So our company has got kudos. It's the type of acknowledgement that's really hard to come by, and we got it from every single one of those regulators. So despite the hurdles we face, DBMM and digital clarity stand tall as a testament to our resilience. Every challenge has been met with the determination and innovation, a path that we've always said this, that would be step by step. We've weathered the storms before and will continue to do so with the strength and resolve that we've built up. So we're adamant that we know what we're doing and we have a path and a strategy, and we ask people to come along on that journey with us.
Well, Reggie, with all that tenacity, what's the future of DBMM and what's the next stage on this journey of yours?
Thanks, Anna. Well, look, it's quite clear. It's to uplist to the QB platform. And that allows us to drill down and to make sure that we get the benefits of those. As I mentioned before, where we are right now is in an area that's not an exchange. And as the world is one big digital landscape, we intend to attract new shareholders who understand this industry. Our path forward is very clear: to uplist to OTCQB and seize all those opportunities that await. Many brokers won't allow trading unless a company is on the OTCQB. So there's lots of manipulators, as I said before, who try to prevent us from reaching that QB market and from meeting the criteria that's involved. So I say to everybody again, we may have taken longer. We have the support of decision makers, and we will get there. We are in a world dominated by the digital landscape, so without doubt, we are poised to attract new shareholders who understand the industry, and the future is bright, and we're ready to harness its power. The principles of the company, Linda and I, have the relationships, the contacts, and the access. We've got really good complementing skill sets and the vision. Our long-term investors support us because we have all of the above. We've been told that we've got the grit as well. And believe you me, having gone through that, we really have developed that. So we've developed a company and a position that's going to increase as our options go forward. And at the heart of DBMM and digital clarity lies a network of amazing relationships that have been built on trust and integrity. These connections have been built over time and have led to long-term investors and a pipeline of new clients. Together, we're stronger, and we're going to offer strong shareholder value and opportunities. Just to surmise there a little bit, Anna, Linda and I have the access and consequential relationships. We're a team, and this is why we have long-term investors and new clients in the pipeline.
Well, elaborate a little bit on that. How are you going to continue to educate and inform the current shareholders and new shareholders?
Great question, Anna. We have already been doing that with shareholders. We've given sort of what we call educational updates on our website. But over the next few weeks, amongst doing things like these great emerging growth conferences, I'll also be launching a podcast. These podcasts will also be update and inform and educate the market, as well as be a tool for me for business development. I'm going to be having in-depth conversations with some of the network that I've built up over the years. I'll have guests and partners, industry leaders, as well as fireside chats with veterans in the business. We've already begun to identify various external situations that are going to help us add to the offering that we have, and that is going to be a very cost-effective approach for all parties, whether it's an organizational change or things that we're going to be doing in Southern California, AI in our process, and various other things that are going to be shared with shareholders along the way. That's the power of a management consultancy, that we can provide advisory expertise as well as receive proactive advice. We've got the fluidity to change and move with the times, but we've got a very, very clear focus. Clients find that kind of support reassuring, and it manifests in the ROI as you'll see it going forward.
Absolutely, Reggie. Before we conclude, we just have a few minutes left. Is there anything else you would like to round off with, leave us with?
really just to say, it's been great chatting to you again. I look forward to our next one. Our products, again, have a competitive advantage. It sets us apart from everyone else. We are in a complex marketplace, and it's not always easy for everyone to understand, which is why we're going to try and educate people. We offer professional marketing expertise, and it's ahead of the curve in many cases. We've got a deep understanding of the market and the landscape, and we are primed for growth and success. We don't see ourselves as a short-term investment. So growing the company, we will allow for a level of growth and innovation. So that's the positioning that we're going for, and we're going to share all of that as we move forward. So all the initiatives we've taken so far have only just scratched the surface, Anna. So watch this space. DBMM is ever evolving. If there's not an interest in learning about it, DBMM will not be able to be a comfortable place. So keep watching this space, keep learning about what we do. We have our supporters. We've been growing since we've returned to normal trading and normal business, which has been quite challenging, but our tenacity has been rewarded. So now's the time to keep faith, trust the information that we provide by the company itself or in public information, ignore the noise, as that will pass. The naysayers and manipulators, forget them, stick with what the company provide. And that's it. The way forward is bright, so join us on the journey. Thank you very much, Anna.
Wonderful, Reggie. Thank you so much for joining us back on the conference, and we look forward to our next chat to update all of our viewers next month. In the interim, if any of our viewers want to follow updates, they certainly can on your website. That's www.dbmmgroup.com/news. We look forward to seeing you again in the near future, Reggie. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Anna. Look forward to it.
All right, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with our next presenter.